Today's exciting video is an oil change on a 96 Jeep 4.0. Alright, a lot of preferences on what to use to get an oil filter off. I prefer this. It doesn't always work, but it does most of the time. That's my personal preference. I know some guys like these, and they work most of the time too. My only problem with this is that sometimes you just don't have the room to work this. For this one, the handle folds down, gives you that little extra leverage, especially like on Turbo 350 on a Chevy. You need that. So, this is what we're going to be using to get the oil filter off. Sorry about the racket. And we're using Quaker State 5W30 Advanced Durability. What we're doing an oil change on is a 4.0. Oil filter is right down there. Okay, let's get started. I have not loosened anything up yet. I do have my drain pail up underneath it already. I hope you could see that. That came out so simple and easy. You are going to get oil running out when you take it loose. That's why you got to have a drain pail underneath it. I just tip it a little to get the excess oil out. And then straight up and out. Okay, we're up underneath the car now. That is the drain plug. It's got a rubber washer on it. That is stock. Now let's see if we can get it loose. Okay, 5/8 is the wrench. It wasn't terribly tight. And again, you're not supposed to put them down so tight that you can hardly get them loose, which I've seen way too many guys do. Pair of gloves, because oil is nasty. Unscrew it, keep your finger on the end of it, just hold it in. You can feel it when it gets all the way loose, and then just pull her out. You're gonna get oil on your hands. It just happens unless you can get on the other side and take the oil plug out by raising it up instead of dropping it down. Now this is going to take a few minutes to drain, and I like to let them drain and get all the oil out. The other thing is to run the engine before you do all this, so that you've got it all warmed up and everything stirred up, and that way you get everything out. Yeah, let's getting to the end, a little bit more. Okay, we're going to call that good enough, because I think it could probably sit there and drip for the next 10 minutes. Now, oops, wrong end. You do not need a 2-foot wrench or ratchet or something like that. Something like this, just fine. It limits your amount of torque. I mean, you're just squeezing down this rubber against the steel to stop it from leaking. Alright, here's my oil filter. So we got to get the plastic off of. This would be so much better if I'd have just used the tripod. But geez, that was tight. When you're trying to do it with one hand, it is. Now, this is where I vary from some people. It has become a practice in better garages, I should say better shops, pre-fill your filter. It's not that hard to do. You can't do it in one shot. You'll fill it up, it'll drain down because it's going down inside. While you're doing that, you get some of the oil that runs up to the top. But you do not want to start your car dry. That's just bad. It's hard on the bearings and everything else. I'm sure you've all been hearing for years about special lubricants to keep your engine lubricated and stuff. Well, when you pull the oil filter off, the oil drains back down into the oil pump, and since you just drained the oil has run out of the oil pump, at least part of it. I want you to see this actually takes a minute or two to do. But since I have pre-filled this, it only takes a split second for me to get oil pressure. My engine is not sitting there running with no oil on the bearings. And that's what you want. You want everything pre-oiled, just as if it had been sitting overnight and you just went out and cranked it up in the morning. The oil filter's full because it's got an anti-drain back valve, and you're ready to roll. So let's go put this in. Okay. Hold the filter upright. You just go down, flip it up real quick. You only lose a few drops of oil. Okay, right there's a mark there. Actually, let's see. Right there's where it made contact. That's basically about 3/4 of a turn from the point where it makes contact. If you take it past that, then it's only about a half a turn. But it is good to go. Now we need to put the oil in. Oddly enough, I found it laying along the side of the road. Must have fallen out of some guy's truck. There's my yoga mat. Now you get to see just how fast it gets oil pressure. I hate electronics, they're slow. But you saw how long that took. It would have been 3 times that if that oil filter had been dry. That's quite a while to run a filter bearings dry. Okay, well, this is my 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee Had it for quite a while, and I've spent way too much money on it also. But hey, it's been a good vehicle. I just prefer a V8.